very bright for 5 a.m. Well, it's like 5:45 now. I had my alarm set for 5:30 because we're going for a long run really early this morning. I was supposed to go yesterday, but it was like 37 degrees, like 103 Fahrenheit, so I didn't end up going. And I don't think I have ever woken up this early out of free will, which says something about discipline. So clearly my free will and my discipline muscle is getting stronger. And I'm gonna head out for my run at 7, but I wanted to make sure that I ate something, had coffee, and for my runners, I gotta go to the bathroom before I run, so I need to get up and with enough time to eat, digest, go to the bathroom so that I can go for a run. And I also just am not excited because it's going to be 38 again today. I was really hoping to do like an evening run, but unless I literally run in the dark, which I am not gonna do in LA, not by myself. Sure, when I do the half, it'll be partially in the dark, but that's like an organized run. I'm not doing it in the dark by myself. So we're getting outside. 7 a.m. I'll basically be done my run by 9:30. And then I'll have a whole day ahead of me to probably lie on the couch, just knowing how I'm gonna feel. So let's just start the day with this little ice roll, just to get the swelling of my face to calm down. Sometimes that's exactly what I want. It's just like to put it on my eyes. But coffee. But first, coffee. How millennial of me. Coffee, a little yogurt, some berries. Waking up, eating, digesting, and then out for a run. I was a loser today. Well, not really. The run started out great. I thought I was gonna kill it. I thought I was going super well. And then about 2/3 of the way through what I was intending on running, my tummy decided to start acting up. And if you've ever been anywhere in LA, there's like no public bathrooms in general. And so I kind of slowed my pace down. I did a little walk run to try to see if I could let things calm down. And it would not calm down. So thankfully, Michael was on the scooter not too far from where I was. And I was like, you literally need to come get me and I need to go home because the little IBS, I don't know if it's actually like, it could be dehydration or it could be a little IBS, maybe a little bacteria. As we know, Michael was sick last week. So I'm like, maybe somehow I'm getting it a week later. Thankfully, it hasn't been bad. Honestly, after getting home, relieving myself and kind of catching my breath. I was hydrating when I was running. I was drinking electrolytes. I drank so much water yesterday. I drank so many electrolytes yesterday. So I was doing like quote unquote the right things. But even though I left at 7 a.m. for the run, by the time it was 8:30, it was already, I think, 29 or 30 degrees, which, it's like pretty hot if you are out running, and I'm not doing this all the time in this heat. Like, thankfully, it has not been this hot for the majority of my training, and from what I can tell, it won't be this hot when I actually do the race because it'll be at night, which I'm really looking forward to that. And also, like I mentioned, I have to do an early run training because I'm not gonna run at night by myself in LA. Just not gonna happen. So I do know for the actual race, it'll feel better because running at night, the temperatures are dropping as you're doing it. It's gonna be way more enjoyable, and also where the race is closer to the water, not as hot as where I reside. So I basically had a meltdown. I'm not gonna lie, I felt like such a quitter, which obviously my body being unwell is out of my control. It was the last thing that I wanted to do, but truly I was about to lose it all. So I, have had a little mental break. I gave myself some time to feel defeated, to feel like frustrated, basically just to feel all the things. And then I had to give myself a little pep talk. And the pep talk goes, you cannot be a winner unless you've been a loser. So that's what I'm really trying to look at is, it's okay to be a loser, is what I've been doing to myself, is reminding myself it's okay. And it's also not the end of the world, because it's not like I truly don't have what it takes. It was not a great day. I will get back out there next weekend and I will prepare, and hopefully the temperature will be forgiving and it'll be better. But I also think the resilience, the discipline really comes into play when you lose. When you're not doing well, when you're not coming out on top, when you're not succeeding every single time, and you're not used to things just kind of happening for you, and you're expecting that, and then suddenly you're losing or things aren't going well, it can feel very deflating. So I am looking at this as even more strengthening for my discipline, for my resilience, basically for all those things that I am committed to doing. And it's also just a part of the training. It's just a part of the training, it's just reality. And as you can see, I'm doing a face mask because I am having a bit of a self-care evening. I just painted my toenails. I'm gonna get into bed with some magnesium, the moon juice magnesium drink, read my book, have my face mask, put myself to bed, and probably wake up early tomorrow, but not as early as 5:30. That just felt like a little bit too early for me. But I'm gonna wake up early tomorrow and try to maybe start my mornings earlier this week, since I already did today. So we'll see how that goes. So despite being a loser yesterday, I'm going to be a winner today because I'm going for a run, which I normally don't do back-to-back runs, but because I did not accomplish what I wanted to yesterday, I just think I need to get back out there. As they say, get back on the horse being the sidewalks of LA. So that is exactly what I'm going to be doing. So this is really more for my mindset than my body in general, because I do need to prove to myself that just because I had a bad run yesterday and it kind of messed me up doesn't mean the rest of my runs will be this way. And I did pick a running group that I'm going to join in a few days, or at least I'm going to trial a running group. So I want to just feel a little bit better before I start doing that with another group. And also I know at the end of this week, as per every week, I'm going to have a long run. So I'm embracing being my loser self that I was yesterday and reminding myself that in order to win and appreciate the win, you also have to lose. So I think that I think that makes sense. That's basically what I'm telling myself, and I'm going to prove that to myself. By running just like a very short 5K, shake out the legs. It still is warm out. It's not as hot, so I feel okay. And then again, this will help me have a good night's sleep. I already just know that this is like an investment in my future, because when I run, when I work out, I just sleep better. So I'm already looking forward to having a good night's sleep. Signed up for a gym membership, which, as you know, has been a long time coming, because we both had a Soho membership for a while. I guess, the last 2 years? Probably the last 2 years, which we did enjoy the Soho membership when we first had it, but as time progressed and we just did not want to be in traffic all the time, driving there and driving back just to work out felt like too much of a commitment, which is very LA of me to say, but I just didn't want to be in the car that much, but I think it's fair. So we found a very, classic, bare bones, but local to us gym, and we are now members. We have a gym membership again. I'm so excited to lift weights, and now for a treadmill, so I can actually practice my endurance, running more on a treadmill, and working on like sprints and different things like that I just can't do on a sidewalk in LA. So it feels really good to be prioritizing our health, and at a price that is like exactly what a gym membership should be. I think we've kind of lost the plot when it comes to health and physical activity. The cost of working out nowadays is actually insane. Like, looking at Equinox, or even what the Soho gym membership, the Soho membership was like not just for the gym, it was the whole house and all the experiences. But just the cost of fitness and accessibility to fitness, to me, is kind of crazy. So I feel like we made a very smart decision for us, and one that we both will enjoy. We can either go together, go separately, get our workouts in, feel good, and prioritize our health, which is something I'm constantly working on and navigating. And even after yesterday's run, my body is so sore. So, also working on the recovery part of the fitness. It can't just be the weights, the running, the doing the most. It also has to be about like recovering. So I'm trying to find that balance. But I am truly so excited to start going to the gym again and have like a gym routine. And I'm just planning like, what's my gym bag going to be? I get to have a gym bag again, because I think Michael stole my last gym bag when we or going to a different gym, he started using my gym bag. So now maybe I'll find a new gym bag, or we'll have to share, or I'll steal it back. I'm still at my computer, despite it being 6 p.m. This is probably the latest I've stayed at my computer in quite some time. In all honesty, this is normally how I work, is right up to dinner, and then back to the computer after, usually on my couch. But today was just one of those days where it kind of flew by. I did decide to take an afternoon walk with a friend, which was actually so refreshing to not go on a walk alone. I feel like I so often go for a walk by myself in the middle of the day, and then I just like think about things I should be doing or could be doing. Whereas when I went with a friend, I'm not able to think about those things. I was more present because I'm obviously having conversation with her, but I didn't take lunch. So kind of, it's one of those days where it's like a little give and take. But since closing my business, I really have not been working evenings and weekends. I would say as of like the last week. The first couple of weeks since announcing the closure, there was so much going on, not only with the business, but just personally trying to manage boundaries with like friends or internet people, social media, all of that stuff, that it was a very emotional time. I think it still is. Like I almost feel like I'm just getting into the emotions of it now, because there is just so much happening with my life in general, because technically, in a weird way, I'm starting over kind of for the second time. I realized this. I was chatting with Michael about this, of just this season that I'm entering, what life is going to look like, which I actually have no idea what life is going to look like because so much of it is new. But when we moved here 3 years ago, when we moved to LA, that was in a way starting over, because you really are starting over when you are moving to not only a whole new city, but also a new country. There's so much that comes with that. So that was the first version of starting over at 31. And now I'm 34 and closing down the business. And it is just more than I thought it would be in so many ways. Obviously, emotionally, there's so much going on with kind of like grieving the loss of something, even though I was the one to make that decision. There's still so much grief that comes with it. This has been my dream since I was like 7 years old, basically. Definitely 10 years old. I was drawing logos for my business when I was 10 years old. So this had been something that I had wanted literally from childhood. I accomplished my childhood dream. I succeeded at what my goal was to kind of shake up the lingerie space, encourage women to love themselves, something that lingerie has never done for women, not change the shape of a body, not force women to feel like they're not good enough unless they look a certain way, and also to invest in ethical and sustainable practices in a space that just doesn't do that. Unfortunately, that has become harder and harder over the past like 11 years of having my business. There was a great time where body positivity was trending. It was the thing, but we have gone the opposite way. The pendulum has swung too far with Ozempic and model chic, heroin chic coming back, and just like the trauma of Tumblr years and thigh gap is like coming back to me, because that was the end of that. Is when I started Mary Young, was really trying to encourage women to get away from that concept and really start to embrace themselves. And I was able to do that. There were so many messages I got from customers and the community of Mary Young saying how they had never loved themselves so much until they found our brand, and how our products celebrated them and hugged them and didn't change them and didn't dig in and all these things. So as I'm grieving the loss of what was my childhood dream, I'm also reminding myself that I succeeded. And I think like anything in life, things do come to an end, and I didn't want to get to the point where I was resenting my dream or resenting the choices that I made to continue down this path. I still have dreams of what I could do with Mary Young, the brand, in the future, and that can look so different. And that is why I want to give myself space to explore what that looks like and allow myself to not work in the evenings and the weekends. And honestly, since I started the business, I have been working
60 plus hours a week for my company. I often took on side jobs in the early years. I was working part-time other places, freelancing. I have always kind of done that because I love to do more than one thing. As we all know, I'm a high achiever, maybe to a detriment, which I'm now realizing. And so this is the first time since going to college and university that I am not working on things in the evening and weekend, because obviously I was doing like homework in the evenings and weekends because I always worked 2 jobs when I was a student. And it feels very strange. I'm having to relearn my whole existence in some way. So yeah, truly I am starting over in terms of just who I am, what my day-to-day life is going to look like, what I want my life to look like. And I don't have an answer for everything. A lot of people keep asking me what's next, what am I doing, what do my days look like, what am I working on? There's always things I'm working on because I have so many creative outlets. Like I can pour myself into my Substack more, which has just been so exciting to give that more intentional thought. Same thing with here, being on YouTube, being a bit more intentional with what I'm creating, what I'm sharing, being more vulnerable as I'm doing right now, all of those things. So I'm just really looking forward to what that can bring and not putting pressure on myself to have a plan, which is the hardest part. I just love a plan. I want to know where I'm going, what's next. I want that sureness, that stability. And I think this is the biggest lesson of starting over, is just learning to let go. And like I said, let go, let God, trusting God, the universe, that everything does happen for a reason. And there's going to be so many big things coming, not only my way, but just coming in life in general, that I can start to enjoy differently when I'm not feeling so overwhelmed and so stressed about running, building, growing a business, supporting people, their livelihood, you know, the long list of things that I've been doing for the past 11 years. And on that note, now I get to have dinner and watch basketball and not multitask while watching basketball. It's such an exciting concept. So exciting. Also, just having basketball gives me so much joy each day, something to look forward to, which I think I really need right now when I'm feeling sort of like a little aimless and lost of like, who am I and what am I doing with my life? Finished doing my hair because I'm in that look good, feel good zone that I seemingly live in these days, because I feel a migraine coming on and I'm trying a new medication. What is new? I'm always trying a new medication, but this one I'm supposed to take like the second I feel it coming on. So I'm really hoping it actually works, because I have a Pilates class booked that I cannot cancel. It's too late. So I'm trying Ubrelvy. I don't know if any of my other migraine girlies out here have ever used this. I've tried Nurtec. Nurtec has not worked, so Ubrelvy might be the one. I'm obviously still doing my injections, and I would say, I think between that and the Botox, it has helped. I've gone down from 15 migraine days a month to like 10 or less, which I know is still a lot, but I do think stress is a big trigger, as we all know, anyone who deals with migraines. So I am hoping, as my life becomes ideally a little less stressful, that the migraines subside. So let's try the Ubrelvy before I go to Pilates. Maybe the combo of the medication and Pilates will be really good for me. I'm not sure. I used to hate taking medication, like taking pills. When I was a kid, I would actually freak out and I'd have to like crush them up and put them in food like an animal. So I'm very proud of myself as an adult that I take, honestly, so many different pills every single day, and I can like throw back 3 at a time. And for someone who, again, has a fear of vomiting, it like feels like a trigger to potentially regurgitate, which thankfully I am like getting past that, the mind over matter, and also the mind over matter for how I feel today. Doing my hair has made me already feel like a little bit better. I know I can see it in my eyes and my face that I have a migraine. This is just something anyone who deals with chronic pain, like you can see it in your eyes, and I've always been able to see it in other people's eyes. So like my dad, who was sick my whole life, I could tell when he was having a bad day based on how his eyes looked. I can look at photos of myself over the last 15 years and tell you if I had a migraine that day just based on how my eyes look. They really are the window to the soul. So the hair helps. I feel good about it. I still haven't dyed the grays. I need more information about, are we dyeing grays or not? Like, we need to talk about it. I just need to talk to people who are in this place. One of my friends on Instagram was actually saying how, this is 34. We're embracing our grays. So maybe that's what I'm doing. Maybe I'm embracing my gray patch. We will see. Going to Pilates, whether it fixes or helps the migraine, it'll feel good for the body. And I do have some fun things happening today. And so I'm just leaning into, it's going to be a good day. I'm choosing to make it a good day. I'm choosing to see the good in today. And really, that's all that I can do. We don't have power over many more things other than our perspective. And so that's what I'm really reminding myself and leaning on right now. To say that Pilates and migraine medication helped. Doesn't really feel like it did. The Pilates was definitely very hard. I was not anticipating that much of a workout, which is probably a good thing because I definitely need it. Again, balancing with training for running and a half. It's nice to not be running today, but I was still training my legs in the class, so we'll see how they feel tomorrow when I go for a run. And also because I did not go to the run club. I wanted to. I had plans to, as you know, and I did what I hate doing is I bailed on myself and I did not keep my word, but I swear it was for a good reason because of basketball. I did not want to miss potential series ending games. And so I just didn't go to run club because I knew I was going to miss those games. And that's where my priorities are right now as a basketball fan. So I am going to go next week. I'm putting in my calendar, I'm promising myself, because I also know any of the basketball games that happen that night are not series ending games, so it's okay to miss it. But now I'm heading out for the rest of my day. This is when the fun starts to happen first I'm going to my orthodontist to get more Invisalign trays. I'm getting my last couple of weeks, which is very exciting that this journey of having a straight smile is coming to an end. And I can't wait to be able to drink things throughout the day, not just water, but like have whatever I want, whenever I want, snack-wise too. I'm going with a friend of mine to Anine Bing to see their spring-summer collection, which I'm very excited for because you probably saw in a recent vlog, I was looking at some of their earlier stuff this spring, fell in love with the set, didn't buy it in time, it's now sold out. So maybe I'll fall in love with something tonight. And then I think we're just gonna have like a little girls' evening, get a cocktail, maybe a bite to eat, just like enjoy some time together. So I put on something cute. This top I actually got off of Depop. So this is a little secondhand find. These pants, you may know, I also got these off of Depop months ago. These are ones I manifested because I had wanted them for so long. So a little Depop outfit, and then I am going to wear some loafers. These are also secondhand, though they are Old Navy. I got these at a garage sale for like $5. So I feel like I'm in my like secondhand vibe. It's pretty casual outfit. I obviously have my Missouri necklaces. You guys know these ones. Just the simple Missouri hoops. And then I'm going to carry my little beautiful Pauline bag, which I was just so thrilled to get for my birthday. So I feel like this is like a very cute look for an evening out with friends. I'm dressed up for the event and for dinner with my friend because I have to go to the orthodontist with traffic. I will just not be able to come home. So I'm gonna go to the orthodontist, do a couple errands, pick up my friend. And then I also think I'm gonna bring a blazer just in case it gets cool tonight. You know what? Maybe the necklaces are too much. I think I might take the necklaces off. They feel like a little bit too much. Definitely a good look. Get the bag, remove the necklaces, and I'm good to go.
what a great way to end a fun, productive, busy day. Sometimes I forget what it's like to go out for like a girls' night. I was saying this with my friend Alejandra, I was out with, that I think the pandemic just like changed making plans like this. Like sometimes I'll go out when it's a birthday or friends are in town, sort of like an event or something bigger or more. There's a reason. Like tonight, there isn't necessarily a reason. Yes, we did go to the spring preview at Anine Bang, but we continued the night by going out for dinner and just enjoying each other's company, having girl time, which it felt so nice. Despite not feeling physically my best today, one of the things that always helps me is if I distract myself from what I'm feeling. So going out and chatting with her, being present in the moment, made me forget how much my head is hurting. So now that I'm home and I'm starting to unwind, I'm like, oh yeah, this head of mine. So I'm probably gonna have some electrolyte water before I go to bed to see if that helps. Maybe waking up tomorrow will feel better, but I also know where my hormones are in my luteal phase. I do get a lot of migraines during this time, so I'm mentally preparing myself that maybe this is just how it's going to be for the next couple of days, and hopefully nothing too painful that I can't manage, especially with running and keeping up my workouts right now. I just need to stay on track. The half marathon is in 3 weeks. Less than 3 weeks? I don't know. Yeah, 3 weeks, which is kind of crazy. So I do need to make sure that I am feeling my best, taking care of my body, and not skipping out on those runs, especially my long run, which I have to do this weekend. But overall, this week, I'd have to say, has been a decent week. Lots of emotions. I've been feeling many a thing that, comes with having big changes in your life. And like I said, I realize I'm like starting over for the second time in my 30s. And then now me changing my career, changing my day-to-day life from being the entrepreneur that I've known myself as for the past 10 years. It really is a lot of changes. So I'm just trying to give myself a bit of grace with that. Like when I have a bad day or if I'm feeling any type of way, allow myself to feel it rather than suppress it, which is not what I want to do. And I know it's easy for me to distract myself. So trying to be a bit more present in recognizing my emotions and what I'm feeling and moving through them, all that good therapy talk. I'm excited for this new chapter. I'm excited to share this chapter with you. I feel like I should probably do an Ask Me Anything. Maybe I'll do that on Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you can find me at Ofori-Attah. And I can probably post it in the community tab here on YouTube for anyone that has any questions about starting over in your 30s, whether that is moving, making adult friendships, changing careers, closing a business, starting a business, maybe any of those things. It feels like it's been a while since I've answered any questions or even asked people if they have questions. So if you have questions, this would be the time. Keep you guys posted on this journey, being together, allowing myself to be a loser, embracing my losing season that I'm currently in, and remembering that it leads to a winning season. So the hardship, the adversity will always bring me to a place that's better. This too shall pass. All of those different things that I talk about in my motivational chats, I have to talk to myself about over and over because I do need that pep talk. It's easy for me to get down on myself. I'm very hard on myself, so I'm trying not to be. Thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far, leave a little envelope with a heart. So you're like sending me a love note, or maybe you're sending me a note with questions for my Ask Me Anything. And I will see all of you on the next one. Bye.